Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rayados 90 podcast. I'm your host, Eddie. And joining me, as always, is Fernando and Zamira. Um,
What it?
I guess this is a. So let me just start out quick. My account got hacked, and yeah, so any texts or whatever weird shit comes from my old account is not from me. So yeah, it's not me. It's probably from some um, person from either like Nigeria, the Philippines, or wherever. One of those countries that usually hacks people. But yeah, so starting from scratch, and yeah, we're doing lives now. We'll see how it goes. If people want to tell us how it is, uh, it would be helpful, just so I can know what works and what doesn't. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, other than Monterrey being eliminated from the Liguilla, and luckily we were recording. The news broke early in the morning or afternoonish that Monterrey is reportedly looking at a new president, new sporting president,
Yeah.
and
Ooh.
so we'll go. We'll start. I guess we'll. There's a lot of things to cover in the next hour, so we'll go ahead and yeah, I will read people's. I think I can see people's comments. And yeah, I really want to make this thing a live stream, just so it can be interactive and people can share their thoughts and kind of give their opinions and let us like just so it just doesn't have to be us three talking or yeah. So we'll see how I want to make this a weekly or bi-weekly thing. So yeah, we'll go from there. But let's start off with
How strong
the
do we start?
How strong
Yeah,
are
Monterrey is
it's done.
yeah, they're done. They're done. It's weird for me to say because it's been 10 years since they last missed Liga. So
It's crazy.
you think that something is you think something is automatic, and then you get this type of season, and it's yeah,
It shatters your
it is
heart.
yeah. But I'll go with Zamira first. Where do you want to start? I'll let you start first. Where do you want to go with how you feel this season? Because you would have thought at some point, okay, this team's gonna wake up, right? You thought,
Correct.
okay, getting rid of Torrent, okay, this team is gonna something's gonna click, right? But then nothing ever clicked. It only got worse, and yeah, that's all I can say. Is sometimes I'm speechless of how to describe this season. But I'll let you go ahead and just share your thoughts now that you know
Um,
they were eliminated with 2 games to play. No, 3 games to play. Well, 2 games to play if you want to say it. But yeah, their season was done. And so yeah, go ahead and tell me what you yeah how do you feel about all of this?
I think we've been talking about it in last episode. We talked about it that we were expecting that change in the attitude and maybe a different direction. And it was for the scenario they had for the last four games. I guess it was not. We could have guessed that it was not that complicated for them to qualify. And whenever they were interviewing any player, I think the ones that I recall it's Aceves and Toro, and they were talking like they're not even thinking of not qualifying. I think it was Aceves who said that they were not thinking of not qualifying, and the fact that they played the same way, the same attitude, the same it was the same thing over and over, and the game with San Luis where they lost and they were winning, I guess that was like the last thing we needed to confirm that lack of hunger from the players, and that's when we understood that it's really they they really have to change the whole thing. Um I'm kind of I don't know if we want to talk about that later, but I'm kind of disappointed on how even though we were eliminated on the last game against Pachuca, I'm sorry, but I think Canales had to play this last game at home I'm really disappointed at him. I'm really really disappointed. There's a lot of rumors going on like he doesn't want to leave, and I think it was Ocampos when he apologized, which I'm surprised that he was the one that talked to um the whole fan like at the stadium. I mean, I was not expecting that. Even though they had difficult times these last games and we knew it was going to happen and we were kind of expecting and wanted for that to happen because we know now things are going to change and we're getting the whole literally the whole thing changed and the whole management and everything. So I mean, we're starting early. We're not waiting until the Liguilla, but I'm really disappointed of Canales. Honestly, I'm really sad. He really broke my heart because even though he didn't win anything, like anything at all, not even Leagues Cup, not anything, we knew that he was a really good player. Um, and I don't know, I'm kind of like disappointed at him, and I mean everyone because the way that we all lost and the way that we got eliminated and not qualified to the Liguilla after 10 years of qualifying. It's I don't know. I'm kind of like heartbroken. Like it kind of feels really sad to see my team like that fall apart like that.
Yeah. So again, Nico said that the reason he didn't play was that he was hurt, but he wanted to be out with his teammates.
Take
And
5 minutes and walk on the pitch like you've been doing, and say thank you and say I'm sorry, and that's it.
uh, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Fernando, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on just no Liguilla season, and I don't know where they go from there because looks like changes are coming.
So, yeah, definitely. So far, from what I've seen, good changes. I am really excited whenever we get to the point of talking about who is currently leaked directly from, well, the country where he's currently at. But I mean, it's been a while since Rayados uh, hasn't brought Liguilla to our stadium, and it's kind of difficult seeing it happen this time around because we were kind of reflecting on it. It's one of the best squads that we have had in a while, but that somehow doesn't end up working. But then suddenly like we got picked apart slowly with like players leaving and then players getting sold, players on loan that shouldn't be on loan, and then bad signings that just ended up at this point just crashing. I feel like we kind of dived a lot into what the people wanted at some point with Rayados, and that's what slowly caused the decay. Because believe it or not, the the fandom was kind of heavy on all the previous managers that we've had, knowing that like, hey, you cannot build projects in less than a year. And we kind of, as fandom, I hope that we understood that we are not able to do such things, especially with the managers that we have, with the precedents that we previously had. So this year, I just feel like slowly decaying the way that we did, and just seeing the team break all around because there were a lot of situations in which like they just started diving a lot more into like situations that were noticeable in the pitch because like when a player is on a bad mood whenever they're not wanting to play. And I'm surprised that some players like are now playing some of the matches the way that they are because I never saw like Ocampos doing games like he did against Puebla or Pachuca, which he didn't do much, but he was at least trying, which he hasn't ever since the injury against America. And then Oliver Torres also was kind of like putting in a little bit more effort, but I feel like right now it's one of those things where like, hey, it has to happen for us to be able to get rid of what we currently have and kind of get into that new era that Rayados needs to have, especially because we have more visualization that we've ever had in the past, thanks to the Club World Cup, and it's something that we're still riding on. Like that hype has not died down. We are one of the most known like soccer teams from all around Mexico, and it's something that at least we don't show in the titles, and we need to start at least owning up a little bit more into like, hey, yes, we dominated pretty nicely, uh, continent wise with CONCACAF, but right now we're kind of lacking in the department of showing in our own league who we are. Yes, I would still love to win CONCACAF as much as we have done in the past, and I feel like we should build towards a team that will be able to do it. But in your off seasons, you're able to like kind of pursue that without any issues. And I mean, right now, just this situation that we currently have with no Liguilla for the first time, I feel like we're I feel like we just hit that last brick wall and we just have to rebuild. Like at this point, this is the last straw for whatever situation we had in Monterrey, which honestly was being completely honest, although we had Ramos, although we had De Osa, although we had Canales at his prime, like not his prime, but like a pretty good like rhythm. Some of the best like football we've ever played in our lives, and nobody was able to do anything because it was just bad management. So at this point, it's like yes, you're able to create something and present it, but because you're showing it right here, it doesn't mean that you know how things are being handled. And it just came to show with all the rumors that were going around about how management was being done. It kind of started making sense a little bit more on why we couldn't win anything. So I feel like slowly but surely, ever since the World Cup, we just like down, and
Yeah.
it was never like, oh, one day to another, like, oh, you just stop being a good team. No, we literally saw the decay slowly, and we never did anything about like players that we were missing, players that we needed, or anything like that. It was just bad management overall. So right now, I am not blaming Nico for not qualifying to La Liguilla, especially since right now I feel like he also was placed in a situation where he should have not been. He was also messed over by the directive instead of him being protected as he had been before. And it kind of is putting him in a bad image. He was not
I
ready to
mean,
be a manager.
I mean, he's had I mean, he had the Rayados or yeah, Rayados experience
Yeah.
that didn't go as well as you would have wanted to. Uh, I mean, at the end of the day, he was choosing in a do or die to play Roberto de la Rosa. I don't know why. I think that's it. You can I look. You have to separate the player from or what the player was to what he is as a manager. And as a manager, he
Not ready.
he wasn't really good, and he didn't sink the ship. The ship was already sinking. Um, he was supposed to be a lifeboat at least. Maybe you can finish in eighth, sixth, seventh, or yeah, eighth, sixth, or seventh, or whatever. But he really kind of didn't do any. Like I said, he didn't do himself any favors by playing players like Luis Reyes, who uh, again is a player that's past his prime, and I have no idea why they're playing him. Roberto de la Rosa.
Oh, Arteaga.
Um,
But I mean,
uh,
if it was not Juca, I mean, he could have played the young guys
yeah,
way
he
earlier. That's what we were
yeah,
expecting.
that's what I kind of wanted these last two games when they were officially out. Just play them and see what you got. You need some type of. Not all the players are gonna leave, but there's gonna be a turnover within the next year. I think within the next year, this team is gonna look completely different. I don't know if that's gonna be good or bad. And I look if I'm Nico Sanchez, I don't think I'm going to keep growing as a manager if Monterrey gives me positions. like you need to go out and learn from other type of managers, put yourself in other types of situations. You're not going to grow. It's like the rich kid, if their dad or their parent keeps giving them jobs or whatever, they're really not going to know about the real world. So I don't understand why they're always forcing a manager to just have Nico Sanchez as his assistant. I think he needs
If he
to.
agrees.
Yeah, I mean, but
Also.
still, I think he needs to go and just test yourself elsewhere, put yourself in other situations, and learn. Uh, I mean, the report, and we'll get into this right now with the Diego Armando Medina, is that uh, Herreti and Nico are going to stay on. I don't. I think as assistants, I read, but it's again, it's just why are you putting people like onto a new project, like or for here you have take over this project, but you have to take these two people with you, or it's just like that's the thing I never understand with Monterrey. Like it's always like lingering, you know, give people a fresh canvas. Let them start from scratch. Like they're again. I don't want to fast forward, but they're keeping supposedly, according to Diego Armando Medina, is that they're keeping Lara. I do not know why.
What do you mean
Um,
they're keeping Lara? He's the whole
go
problem.
read. You can go ahead and I should have screenshotted and pulled it up onto our screen.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, that's what again. This is what Diego Armando Medina is reporting, and I guess let's just get into the changes. I mean, we're already there. We're just flirting with that. So I think let's just get into the changes that are going to come because going, you know, what's reported is that okay, I'm going to get his name wrong for sure, but he has experience working in Mexico and working with Chivas and the Mexican national team.
And Tigres.
Uh, and Tigres,
yes.
which I think that's kind
Damn, they
of
want to bring him.
yeah. So let me let me bring up his name because I'm
It's
gonna
Dennis
butcher it.
Cleosu. What?
Dennis
Denny Te
Cloeste.
Cleosu.
Close. I don't know. That sounds more German. My pronunciation,
Close.
but it's obviously Dutch. So I opened up Diego Armando Medina's report, and uh, yeah, so it's again, I'm trying to translate everything in my head. So TUDN reports again. This is Diego Armando Medina reporting that Herveti and St. Nico will stay on as oh no wait Lara and Herveti are going to be some type of I don't know if you want to say sporty. It's a general director role, general sporting
Yeah.
director role, or something like that. While Nico Sanchez stays on as an assistant to the club. Which, again, I don't understand what that is. Um, so yeah, again, that's what Diego Armando Medina is reporting. If you want to believe him or not, that's up to you. But
I just hope the
I
Lara thing
mean,
is not real because he is part of the problem. He is like culprit number two. He is supposed to have as much blame of our past issues due to all of the players that he has brought in, like
dude,
uh
I didn't.
Johan
I didn't know we had
Joao Rojas.
Melik sign a contract for 4 years.
Five. Five.
uh,
One already passed. He still has four remaining.
4 years, five
No,
years.
yeah,
That's
5 years.
crazy. He needs to go. Like he's the whole problem.
yeah, so yeah, I don't. It's
Do you think that might be something? Because I mean, they usually do
I
that for
don't really want
campaign.
that to be true. I want again. I don't understand why Monterrey just doesn't give somebody a blank canvas and let them paint.
Mm,
And now they're
it's
saying,
real
"Here, come over and take over our president role." But here, we're going to give you these two people and find roles. I don't think it's. I don't know if
They're leaving is
Patsies or I don't know what exactly the role is going to be, but it just feels like maybe the only way I can see it working is if these are like minor roles where it's like, here's busy work, do that, and then maybe they quit on their own. Because I just don't understand why a club would insist on a new president to, having to work with these two guys. So I really hope that's not true. I really hope that the club gives the new president some type of freedom within their structure of their council or however they make decisions with, 3 or 4 people or whatever. And yeah, I just don't like that idea of saying, here, these are people that you need to form part of, and here's another guy that has to be a part of the coaching staff of whatever coach you hire. I just don't feel like that's, yeah, you're playing. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think this club needs to be rebuilt from the ground up, and given whoever takes over as president, whether it's Klaus, or however you take Klaus,
Like,
yeah, give him the freedom to decide whatever he wants to decide, or whoever takes over. It's not reported. I mean, it's obviously multiple people are reporting, but it's whoever takes over. It's not, nothing's confirmed or anything like that. And yeah, so but I go ahead, Samir. I'll let you take. You were kind of shocked that they would consider keeping
Nah,
Lara.
keeping Lara. I mean, if it was just speaking of Nico, not because of the job he's done this couple games he had, because it's not even a month, right? We're a month and a half, I guess 2 months. I don't know, but I mean, I guess Nico, you would consider him as someone that knows the club and that knows an actual team that was um successful, because at the end of the day, when he was playing, we were champions of CONCACAF. That's the time that we qualified for the Club World Cup, and also at La Liga, against America. So, I mean, I would only consider keeping him, because if you're gonna bring a new president, and if he's good, he's gonna question, why do you want to keep him? And if it's not convincing, I'm sure they're gonna find a way to, like, to make a decision. And at the end of the day, if he says yes and takes, the presidency of the, and he knows that his job is actually relying on him right now, because he's going to be starting from scratch, and it's a situation where we have to be patient if we're going to start a new process. But at the same time, it has to be, if you're doing a new process and a whole new thing, it needs to show like an actual organization, actual like results, because at the end of the day, you're going to keep your job based on results, and if you're not winning, you're going to leave, because that's how it is. It's here, and it's Mexico, it's US, it's everywhere. That's how it works. If you don't give titles to the team, then your job it's not effective, and you're going to leave. So whatever process they're starting, whatever new president comes in, and whatever new coach, a new whole team and staff and whatever, it has to be something that it's actually based on, we're going to be based on results and based on what you're doing. And if you're going to bring someone right now, we're tired of doing of taking coaches with no experience, and we're tired of experimenting at the end of the day, because it's we can't be relying on, well, let's give it a shot, and let's give it a shot, and let's give it a shot. That's not how it works. So if the team is, well, I feel like maybe offering Nico and Erviti, it's more of, they don't have the heart to fire them, because it's not their fault. But at the same time, whatever they did and
Yeah,
whatever they offered, it's like it's not working. So if you want to keep Nico as someone that knows the team, and as someone that knows this, I mean, the squad is going to be basically like half of it is going to leave, and I mean, maybe half of it is going to change. It should be like that. So it really depends on who come. If it's this guy, I unless he's like willing to take him, But I'm pretty sure that the president that comes in, it's going to be like, I'm sorry, but this is this is my work team, and this is what I do, and I don't think he fits. That's what they usually do whenever it's someone that's successful. Whenever someone's successful, they have a bunch of things they're going to require for them to take the job. Only guys with no experience, or guys with not discipline, or guys with no pants, they're going to take whatever they're going to tell them, because
Yeah,
that's what they want to. They just want to get the job, and they know Monterrey has money. So for them,
yeah.
it's
Well,
going to be like, you know what,
hopefully
I'm
they
going
still
to
have
be with
money.
the team, and I'm going to be doing this and that. So I guess whoever comes in, I'm pretty sure if it's a good decision, he's not going to keep anyone, because
Uh,
they know that's going to be part of the results at the end of the day. So
yeah, I do think Monterrey can't. Monterrey doesn't know how to close cycles. I mean, we've seen it like in the last 6 7 years where like Stefan Medina should have left maybe like last year. They were playing Basanta in that 2020 season that thankfully COVID took away. Um,
even Hugo
so and
Sanchez, this last season
yeah,
was
Inigo
not
Sanchez.
good.
Oh yeah, they extended him, and you see like Funes Mori. Like they haven't been able to close cycles, and that's been an issue. And like you said, maybe they just don't have the heart to like say goodbye or say, "Hey, please leave." And then they're just hoping
Yeah.
that another job comes around, and they have like with Davino, where the Mexican national team job position comes up, he wants to take it, and it's just like, okay, go ahead. Um, yeah, it's just like I said. I think we'll see what happens. This is like the first name, like really like multiple people confirming it, but still, there's
It's even
until
talked upon like in
Does
the
he have
Netherlands.
he has any titles at the Liga MX with any team?
No,
I don't think he won anything. I
no, he
don't.
only took care of like under 23, under 21. He never did like a mainstay team. He only had experience like with Chivas and with Tigres between 2007 and 2011.
And where's he
And
right now?
he's at Feyenoord,
Yeah,
and
he
uh,
did give Feyenoord the title, I think.
Okay.
yes, but I keep reading a lot of things that kind of like make me worry because you try now that Google or not Google that Twitter has like the automatic translation thing.
Yeah.
You see a lot
Yeah.
of like Dutch people kind of like saying like after Arnie Slot left, things like I guess that he got more power and it's just they haven't been satisfied with what he's produced. I don't know. Again, I there are you've seen with Monterrey. There's fans that are like never satisfied. So I don't know if that's fans or fans that are never satisfied. I don't know. I don't follow Feyenoord outside of like when they play Champions League or maybe sometimes Europa League.
When they
But
had Santi.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I he has experience. That's and it's somewhat good with European level experience, and so it's a step up. It's a step up of what we have, where it's like Davino. Here, you're going to train on the job, and then you're going to get the job, and then you bring in Tato Noriega, who has experience, but it's awful experience, and so it's a step in the right direction. Um, and so yeah, I just don't want the Lara stuff to be true. I mean, if you want to keep, Erviti around, that's fine. Um, but yeah, I don't want anything to do with people that were connected to Tato Noriega. Because again,
Definitely
why are
not.
you giving people? You keep the people who were
We're
shit.
part of the problem.
Yeah, and you're still not getting rid of them
And
because
also, like,
I
who's
mean,
deciding for him to like stay? Because if that's the case, he needs to leave too. Like,
well, it's Monterrey with their council of I don't know how many. Sometimes every 3 people, 4 people. I don't know. This is what happens when you have a mega corporation as your owner. It's usually multiple people with their hands in the cookie jar, and it's not just one person. Like when you follow a team with one owner, right? Or at the very least, know like like if it's Chelsea, it's two people that are really kind of in charge, right? Um, and so I think that's what happens when you have a corporation as an owner. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens if La is kept on, because if he is,
That's
people are not going to
insane.
be happy, and yeah, I
He
wouldn't be
should
happy
step
either.
down.
Yeah, because you
He
have
should honestly step
and
down.
we'll get into the players, and because we can't get into, I mean, we can get into a little bit of who stays and who goes, but you really don't have the manager yet to like, okay,
We don't know
what
who's
type
gonna
of
adapt.
what type of formation do they usually play? What type of players, like a track record of what type of players they usually like, right? So I really can't say. I mean, you really can't say who should stay and who should leave. Outside of like the players that are contract, like Stefan Medina, unless they offer him a contract, which I don't think they will or they should, is gonna leave because his contract expires. Sergio Canales has like an automatic contract that he can, trigger the extension that he can trigger, but right now it doesn't sound like he's gonna do that. So he might leave. So, but then you have players coming back that were a part of what Lara and Noriega did, which is give them long-term contracts
I'm just
for
happy about one.
whatever reason. Like, so you have Sebastian Vegas coming back. You have
No.
yeah, he's coming back this. Yeah, he's coming back this.
He
Wait, is
only
he
had
coming back?
6 months with Leon. No, he has a
Okay.
year, right? He
Either
has a
way, he's gonna
year.
have to come back. He's gonna come back. There's no way
Yeah,
Leon's gonna like.
eventually.
Keep him
Yeah,
until
eventually he has to come back, and
2028.
he's under contract until 2028.
I
So
I
whether he
I don't
comes
know if
back in the
y'all have
summer,
seen the. I don't know if y'all have seen the videos of like Sebastian Vegas in the dressing room being like the captain. People from Leon actually like him. So fingers
well, it's the
crossed.
thing. If he wants to take a pay cut, then we'll see.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna come down to. Like, does he want to keep all his money but be bouncing around, or does he want to take a massive pay cut and stay with Leon, where, like you said, people seem to like him? That would just depend on him. Because I think I think that's what Monterrey should present itself and be like, hey, we can we can pay you no problem, but you're going to be bouncing around with whoever can take you because you're not going to be here. Or do you want to take a pay cut and you know stay
There.
with where you're at and be comfortable? So it's just going to be on him. Same with Andrada. I don't think Andrada should be. Yeah, he shouldn't like it. There has to be like an Argentinian. I mean, they're gonna have to pay because I think Andrada has another year on his contract, right? He's
He
under
has
contract
until
until
2027.
2027. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same with Cocho. So unless he wants to take a pay cut, he's gonna have to bounce around this last year of his contract, and I think he's more than likely gonna be like, yeah, I'll bounce around. I'm not gonna like it's 1 year left. I want all my money. Why am I gonna take a pay cut? I think that's the mindset he will probably have, and so yeah, we'll see what happens with those two. But those two are really like those bad anchors, man. And then I know Zamira doesn't like to hear this, but you have Cocho Rodriguez who has a bad back and keeps having back problems. And
Just
at
hire
some
Sammy
We
point,
as
can
the
relate.
mascot. As a
yeah, but you're
masseuse.
not a pro athlete.
But
You're not a
he's a pro
professional
athlete,
athlete.
right?
Yeah, and so
That's
yeah, I
true.
think it's he has a contract until next year, and yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna
unless you
be.
bring someone, because we know that we can stay with Ambris as contención.
As the only. Yeah, will be bad.
It-
I'm just saying. I feel like it's easier at this point to just go over the players that should stay because I feel like there's only two that earned that possibility than actually like naming players that need
Well,
to leave.
how many players do you think? I guess we might as well get into this. Um, how many players do you think should leave, should stay? Um,
I'm not counting
because
anyone under 21 or in under 22. Any Mexican player that we have, they just need to stay. I'm not going to list them all off. We don't have to send them anywhere, and it's not like we built someone up this season to have them on the loan. I really hope that we get some names back, like Cesar Garza. for next season. But for me right now, it's easier to just go over the ones that should stay than the ones that should go. Only Fimbres and Orellano are the only ones that, in my opinion, deserve to stay. The ones that you kind of start trying to see if, like, hey, you know what, we just got you. It's gonna be like maybe a year, maybe year and a half that we're gonna have you. It's gonna be like Yuka, because Yuka just surrounded by a team that actually knows how to play with a striker, which we don't know how to, because everyone has their own mentality. Like, oh, we had Berterame, like we just have Canales behind so they can solve. We just don't have a natural way of playing with the number 9. We just need to learn how to. And sometimes Orellano is the only one that does it whenever they take Juca out. So um, I feel like he's like one of the ones that, hey, maybe it should stay. Arteaga is still, you're not gonna find a better left back unless you bring like El Cotorro. And I don't think after the
Would be
performance he
nice.
has having, he going somewhere else. So um, everyone should leave. Being honest, like other than those 4 players, I'm pretty confident about everyone else leaving. Like maybe Ambris under a different manager and under a different role. We were talking about like, hey, you know what? Just bring in another center defensive midfielder and have Fidel Ambris take over what Oliver Torres is trying to do, because he might be able to do it a little bit better, being that he's younger and able to adapt more to his style. Plus, I don't like him on the back that solidly. Like, you're not supposed to mention a number 6 that much, and you mention Fidel Ambris a lot throughout the games.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's Go ahead, Samira.
yeah, I speaking about Ambris, I guess that's the problem where he got lost and we never really got a chance to see what he was showing at Leon. And it's honestly really sad because he's really young, he's Mexican, and I think it was a really good decision to bring him. However, it was a really bad management, and I feel like it's interesting to see a lot of players that were like kind of like a leader in their own team. Speaking of Ambris, because he was young and he was one of the leaders from Leon. Speaking about Mele, like he was literally the one speaking on the dressing rooms. We had Sebastian Vegas that was also kind of like what he's doing at Leon. He kind of used to do that in Monterrey. I guess he was just like good speaker, but not like good player. Anyways, I feel like there's a lot of players that if management changes and understands what they can bring and what they can offer and actually put them in a position, not like asking the players where you feel comfortable playing, because it's not like whatever they want to, but it's also like a good manager understands and identifies how's like the best position or the best role you can give a player in the pitch. If that's the case and we bring a manager that's actually understands how to use their players, like for me, Milito understood all the players from Chivas that they're really young and whatever he's doing an amazing job. So if you bring someone that can understand all the good things they can offer to the team, I feel like there's a lot of players that can have another chance. Speaking of who's supposed to leave, I mean, Ocampos, he had a lot of opportunities and now he's apologizing. And I know for sure he's doing that because he wants to stay. So, I, I mean, again, the only players that I feel like they deserve to stay and they deserve a chance to prove under a new management would be for me Orellano. He did a really good job this last game against Puebla. I don't feel he had the best game, but against Pachuca, he was the only one actually doing something. Against San Luis, like you would see him running on the pitch, not just showing there. Um, Again, Fimbres, he's someone that deserves to stay. Other than that, maybe Juca, just to see under a different style, like a different style, he might fit in. I don't know about Oliver Torres, but he's also showing like he wants to stay. And the good thing, oh
How many?
damn, the good thing it's like, I mean, Oliver Torres, he has like some of his assists are magical, right? It's like Tecatito. For me, Tecatito, he's a player that, I mean, he came back to his hometown, and he came back to his team, and it's like, if you play just Tecatito for 15 20 minutes at the end, he can do amazing things. Of course, he's old and he's not going to be the whole 90 minutes, but I mean, in 15 minutes, he can do more than, I don't know, Ocampos, or it's that kind of situations.
Yeah.
We have Anthony Martial that was separated from the
Oh,
team.
I can't believe I forgot about him. He's gone. Yeah,
It's like,
I
it's so
completely forgot about
amazing.
him.
It's like,
Yeah, he's gone.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
people following Rayados as well, because they thought that maybe with Rayados he was gonna go back to the shine golden boy he was, and he was not. So
We
at
have
this
the
point,
Martial curse.
we have to question more the club than the players, because they come here with an attitude and they end up like all tired and stuff. So
I think
We,
not to
we
go-
got rid of the chicken. We got rid of the chicken curse, and we got the Martial curse.
I think this is just a culture
I'm
problem.
not even sure if
Like,
the chicken was sound.
It's they have to yeah, because you're right. A lot of players come here and they just feel entitled. They feel like, okay, I can play like crap, but I'm still gonna get paid. Like I'm still gonna get paid. I'm still gonna I'm not saying you have to cry or anything, but like be upset.
Beg.
Be upset that you didn't make a playoffs with 8 teams. I mean, it would have been more embarrassing if they still had that plan where, damn, even with 12 teams, you couldn't get in.
Ooh.
It's
Not even playing, man.
yeah. So I think it's just I think whoever comes in, again, this is why I wish Monterrey would have just fired Tato Noriega and had hired somebody by the time of the FIFA break, or at least kind of made it known so the players can know that somebody is watching them. But now nobody watched them. Nobody knows. I mean, I'm pretty sure the whoever takes over, whether it's this Dutch guy or somebody else, can see the tape. But it's nothing like seeing these guys live or knowing that there's somebody else now in charge that they need to impress to see if there's any type of change, because it's just a culture problem to me. To me, it's just you see the players, they don't care. They're like whatever. Like I don't know if you guys saw that video or that. I don't know if it was a video or like a screen cap of I think it was Lucas Ocampos,
Victor Guzman.
was it Victor Guzman, and whoever. Like they were just standing around chit chatting right after they've been pretty much eliminated from Liguilla, and it was just like another day. And like I said, I don't want them to be sad or anything like that. They don't have to be crying in their boots or whatever. But just shows that you're upset. Frustrated. Don't come off as okay, whatever. It's just another day for us.
I'll nonchalant.
I think it's a culture problem with this club, and I think it goes to these contracts that they give them. It's just I don't know how how much do they give them, but I feel like they give them too much. There's no incentives. There's no hey, we'll give you a respectable salary, but most of it's gonna be bonuses that you need to reach. Sort of like PSG, right? PSG used to be giving all these players a bunch of lucrative contracts, right? But now they've kind of overhauled it and been like, hey, we're gonna give you a respectable salary, but the rest of it you're gonna have to earn in bonuses, right? We're not gonna
based on performance.
That's why they got rid of Don. I mean, as much as they didn't, Donnarumma was a really great goalkeeper, but that's why they got rid of him, because we're going to pay you this. Yeah, he wanted a higher wage, but the club was like, here, no, we're going to stand on this, and you can get that higher wage and bonuses, but that's just where we're going to stand on. And so I think Monterrey really kind of needs to start looking themselves in the mirror and stop giving up these contracts that kind of and especially if it doesn't work out, you're kind of tied to them or the player is. I mean, we saw with João Rojas and Rodrigo Aguirre, where the player kind of like puts their feet on the ground and they're like, okay, you don't want me here, buy me out. You know, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna make it so hard for you that it's I'm not gonna go anywhere for a loan or anything like that. You're gonna have to buy me out. And eventually the club cave in and they bought them out. And it just makes it it's just it's just a headache because they have lucrative contracts and they can't get rid of them. And we're gonna see what happens with Sebastian Vegas and Andrada. And so, but yeah, I think to me, I think I see four players leaving, maybe five. I'm talking about international, like not international, foreign players or whatever. I see Medina. I'm leaning towards Canales leaving.
Canales, yeah.
I I see Martial leaving. Mele is likely gonna leave. There's no way he wants to be a backup.
Yep.
And for culture, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but for culture purposes, I would really want Ocampos to go because I think he's been giving too many chances.
Yes.
I
Way too
mean,
many.
the scooter thing, that's like the epitome of like the club kind of giving these players so much power that they feel like right before the Liguilla or what. Yeah, it was,
every Liguilla
it was,
you get injured right at
no, but right before the Liguilla, you get yourself injured riding a scooter, and it's just like what type of commitment were you having? Like I get it that I think it was his daughter had an accident or whatever, but yeah, you have a car. Where are you going on a scooter or something like that?
How do you think Anthony Marshall's contract's gonna be like?
I mean, it's not that. I mean, it didn't cost them that much to get him. I don't know what the wages are. That's one of the things I hate about Liga MX. They don't reveal the wages like they do in European football.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's
controlled.
I mean, it's decent amount. So I would say I'd be curious to see how many players you can get from just freeing up yourself of wages from Sergio Canales. They've already freed up the wages from Ramos. I'm assuming Martial. All these high-priced older players that came from Europe. I'd be curious to like see how many other like I'm pretty sure if you let Canales leave, you could probably get two or three players. Like in terms of like the wages, like how much would that cost you? Like I think it would cost them two or three players that they can probably afford. But I don't know. I don't know if FEMSA is going to be wanting to spend a lot of money now in this project. So I think that's why, and you mentioned it, Fernando, the Klaus has a experience with youth players, and that's what I read or just saw a video from one of the Fox channels in Mexico. I don't know if it was Fox or Fox Sports or wherever. He has experience with youth players, so I'm assuming they're going to go. I'm not going to say cheap, but they're going to go like, hey, we're only going to spend this amount of money, and that's just all you're going to get. And then whatever else needs filling, work it out with some of the youth players, which might be the better approach. I mean, I think it just depends. Approach. Yeah, I think that they're going to try the Pachuca approach, and we'll see if it works out here.
I mean, the young players they wanted the title last tournament.
Yeah, they've won multiple titles. It's just like why can't that translate, or why can't they, carry that over to the first team? I don't know if
I feel like the coach that comes in, they need to like.
I think they have to have a history with young players.
They have the Nigris, they have Mojica, they have a bunch of players that they can actually work with. And if you don't want to spend money with that, would you imagine how motivated they would be if they had like big bonuses, if they made a good like appearances?
Yeah,
but you guys went like it's really dumb because I feel like we have a good youth system, at least like players that have started developing, like you mentioned, Aldo Patricio, Mojica, Fimbres recently came out. We have Cesar Garza, we have Bustos, we have the Valenzuela.
Cholos that's actually playing really well.
Yeah.
So it's like you start seeing players, and honestly, if you were to build a base around them, like free up all the other wages and just have one or two, 3 stars players like Pachuca does, like Kennedy, Rondon, and Idrisi, you can kind of start building a proper base. And you're not going to compete, but at least you're going to start at least building those talents. So like in 1 or 2 years at most, once you get everyone like on the same page, they suddenly can become 2, 3 times champions. That's what the Liga MX project is, but no team has the patience.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they're gonna like the I to. I mean, last week there was the rumor with the Denzel Garcia from Juarez.
Juarez.
There, yeah.
Mm.
So you got that rumor. Um, them and America are fight, but you saw it last winter when it was America and Monterrey going for Brian Gutierrez,
Oh
and he
man.
ended up at Chivas. So like I can't take that like okay he's gonna end up in one of those two teams because someone can swoop in and then boom he's gone. So but that's an option there because Monterrey desperately need new fullbacks. They to me out of the Mexican players, I don't want anything to do with Carlos Salcedo. I would
Oh,
yeah, I just
hell no.
I don't yeah, I got tired of his post match tweets, post match Instagram posts. It's just like yeah, I
Dude,
just
just talk in the pitch, not on not on
yeah,
Instagram or Twitter.
yeah, yeah. So I think I'm over that, and I like I said, this is a new culture that I'm assuming that they'll want to build. You need to keep guys that don't feel like they're going to disrupt the culture that you want. Um, yeah, because apparently, like Victor Guzman was really great, young, promising defender, and I feel like he's kind of like stagnated or even regressed at times. And now I
Yeah.
understand why De Michelis and Torrent kind of were like, you know what, we're not going to play you. Yeah, you're young. Yeah, you have some type of promise, but you're not elevating your game to another level. And
And the
I don't
attitude.
know. Yeah, I don't know what exactly is it. That's the reason
I
why he hasn't
I
taken
was I
another
was
step.
reading and trying to find out what's going on with Victor Guzman because I'm really disappointed that he was a really good player. And for what I read, is that he's only like looking for girls, and we know that Monterrey it's a really known place for girls getting into players' pants. So it's sad. It's sad that they let a player
It's
like
I
Victor
guess you have a lot of money. Um, you don't have your priorities set. I mean, it's cool if you want to do that. Like, you
But
know,
also show it on the
cool.
pitch.
Yeah, if you as long as you're like performing, nobody's gonna tell you don't respond to Instagram models
How are you
or
not happy on the
Instagram
pitch while you're
influencers.
doing like
Yeah.
Instagram influencers? Like you're supposed to
So
be like, oh my god, I'm on my prime. I'm like killing it out there. They're coming over to me. Like being in that position, like how are you not like how is your mindset? Oh, I don't want to play.
yeah,
How? Like
Damn,
it's like
bro. The nerves.
we have to
yeah.
work a
So
nine
we'll
to
we'll see
five
what
job
happens. We'll see what
and they
happens there. Because I mean, I feel like Guzman is entering like Jesus Gallardo territory where it's like he just needs to change the scenery to like you know get back to the form that he had. Which I mean, you saw Jesus Gallardo. I think if you're at a place for like a long time, you kind of stagnate, and if there's no change, you know, it's just you're just like, whatever. I'm just here, and I feel like Monterrey has to get rid of that type of thinking or culture because you can't have players just be like, okay, I'm already at this level. I'm not going to try to get better even more because for some reason that always happens at Monterrey. They come in good first 2 or 3 years, and then slowly production starts to drop because for some reason I don't know. Um, and I guess we're just gonna have to probably end it there. I mean, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Um,
What do you think is going to happen to Mochis?
I
needs
think
to
okay.
be
You know what? I think this is, and I'll give it to you guys to end on this. I feel like Monterrey doesn't have like uh building blocks at like the key positions, like goalkeeper, your number one center, uh, like a really good defensive midfielder, and then a number one striker. I feel like that's going to be the task of
core
whoever
core.
takes over to fill those four. That's going to be your core. I think that has to be your core. I think Mochis, to me, he's a good backup, but I just don't have the confidence in him in being a starter.
Would you
Um,
bring Acevedo?
I think if I want to,
I mean, he's young.
there's no really good young Mexican goalkeeper.
He's 30. No, yeah.
Nah, I think it's just because he's the same height as Mochis, right? He's only like 5'11", barely 6
But if
foot.
you compare Acevedo with Mochis,
I just don't want. I just don't want. Maybe he needs to change his scenery too. I just want somebody that's a little bit more promising. Because I'm used to like our Mexican players being like Mexican national team caliber, right? Because remember we used
Yeah.
to have like Cesar Montes, we had Jesus
Jonathan
Gallardo when he
Orozco at
was
times.
when he was at his peak. Uh, Jonathan Orozco when he was there. You had Charlie Rodriguez when he was kind of like young and promising at the time,
Jonathan
and then
Gonzalez,
yeah,
he got ruined.
but then who else? I mean, who else am I
Tecatito.
missing? Oh, Tecatito. So I'm kind of used to like I just because we're already filled with mediocre to average Mexican players with De La Rosa, Aceves, who for some reason came out and said that the losing streak or the losing affects his ability. Like the first thing he thinks about is I can't go out with my family to go get tacos, which nobody they're living in nice areas. Nobody's gonna go there and tell them you can't eat tacos or whatever he was saying. I just don't. That if that's the mindset you have when you lose, I just, or that's one of the first things you're thinking about when you're going through a rough streak, then yeah, I just don't want those types of players. Because they filled a lot of the Mexican players with like mediocre players, with Wes Torres past his prime. Eric Aguirre is a glass. Arteaga, speaking of another player that,
Attitude
came from
problem.
Belgium, and just like first season was good, and then it's just been decline. And so I think we have to hit that reset button on the Mexican players and kind of get back to what we used to have, where it's like we would send. I mean, I know we would send like 3, maybe 4 Mexican players right to the national team. Not to say like that's important, but that's what I'm talking about, like the quality of players that we used to have, right? And now it's like we don't have any of that quality. I mean, Arteaga's the only one, and Guzman, but obviously, like I said, their performance is going down. But for you guys to
I would
end on
only
this,
keep Arteaga.
I mean, just because it's kind of difficult to find a Mexican better than him, or use a foreign spot.
yeah, I mean, if they can get Denzel Garcia, I think that the Castañeda kid from Tijuana is another one. I think to me they
He's
have
really
to.
good.
If we can get Kevin Castañeda, I would
really
be
good.
so
Yeah.
happy. But the Denzel Garcia, he plays more of a DM role. Like he usually like navigates a little bit of like the like first to second quarter of the midfield, and then he like whenever he pushes up, he tends to be more lenient of like navigating to the right. So just looking at his profile, I feel like he's gonna be a good like Oliver Torres replacement. But also thinking about keepers, we honestly like Acevedo is 30. We have Andres Sanchez for
He's
like
30.
he's
He's
28.
32.
No,
But
he's
Andres Sanchez
28.
is 30, right?
But
No,
Andres Sanchez has really like he
He's-
hasn't
and then
done any better.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
underrated shout out, and he's Mexican, Sebastián Jurado. We
But
can see
he's
the
going
Bro,
to.
he got kicked out really bad.
he's going to. At last I checked, he's going
To Rangers.
to Queens Park Rangers, right?
Yep.
Really?
It's to
Yeah.
Scotland.
So Andres Sanchez is going to be 29 in October.
Yep.
Let me check. And he's pretty tall. I thought he was shorter. I thought he was like Acevedo. He's pretty tall.
He's 6'2".
But the thing is that I'm traumatized now by Rica Chavez type signings, where it's like you see San Luis, you see them perform well, and then you buy him, and then it's just like, oh god, what the hell did we just buy?
I mean,
so,
you also have
yeah,
Tapia, which sadly is not being used
he
properly.
kind of got lost in the
He was
shuffle, yeah.
never supposed to go to Tigres. It would have been Rayados, and we'd be like right now we would be in a different position for sure.
Yeah.
Not
He's
even
so
America is
talented.
playing him. They're playing Cota. Like
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's gonna have to be. I think to me, if you're gonna go Mexican, I think Andres Sanchez might be the one. But again, I'm kind of cautious because I'm getting.
If Jurado doesn't leave, we should snap. We should like make our move straight away. Because Jurado, I feel like it's the one that you give him a more solid back line. You kind of build him around it. He has a really strong he has strong character, which we have lacked in the back line. So if he doesn't go to Queensboro Rangers, we should definitely try and get him.
Is Jurado?
28 as well.
28. So so pretty much in his prime years. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens there.
He's done
He
a
came
good
out
job.
early.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to wait and see
Yeah,
decision
I guess-
he's gonna take first.
Yeah, because again, I think Andres Sanchez is more of a shot stopper. I don't know if whoever again, this is we don't have the manager. If they like to play with the goalkeeper that can play with his feet,
I don't really
and
like.
so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of things because it's going to be a lot of changes. We're already starting with the rumors with whoever's going to take over as president, and yeah, it's just something going to get here from where Usually we get like 2 weeks, maybe a month of like Monterrey playing in the Liguilla where they reach like the semifinals. But
Not anymore.
now, it starts now. It starts after Sunday. Right away. That's it. They have to get the ball rolling because
Cold
the team's gonna have to take care of leagues. They're gonna have to take Leagues Cup seriously because
we need that.
They are not qualified for the CONCACAF Champions Cup because even through the point system they couldn't qualify. That's how bad it's been. And so
for Leagues Cup, is it only like who comes champion or
whoever reaches the 2 teams that reach the final?
Okay.
And then the third team, whoever wins that third place game. So there's, as long as we reach the final, we're set. We're good. I don't care. I don't give a shit about the trophy. We got what we needed to hit.
For sure.
Obviously, if we're playing like a bunch of if we're playing with like a mixed squad of like youth players and whoever stays over, maybe you want to win the trophy for like just for like good vibes, and like get off on the right foot of this project.
Yep. Exactly.
But at the end of the day, what's the most important is to get those, get that spot in CONCACAF, because then if they don't get it, it means they don't have one last chance to try to qualify for the Club World Cup in 2029.
It's gonna spark a little spark of joy in our hearts. We just need that. Need that.
So we'll see what happens there. I think no Leagues Cup slander will be tolerated. we have to prepare
not anymore.
We have to. We're gonna take Leagues Cup seriously.
What have you become?
I mean that's what happens when you can't qualify for CONCACAF. But I think we'll end it there. We just passed the hour mark. I'll try to do this at least once a week or bi-weekly. I'm also thinking of doing one in Spanish, just so it can help grow the YouTube channel. I'll tweet that out probably sometime this week and see what happens if there's an appetite for it. But other than that, I think we'll just do this once a week or bi-weekly, depending on your guys' schedule. and I'll also try to get maybe one or two other people, so that way there's a good rotation. Just when when life gets busy or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this live stream is, and we'll
Make
try
sure
to do a
you
lot of these.
get your followers back on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
actually, right now, when I got somebody texted me, and I saw it was someone from Nigeria. Is like, "Oh, you got to pay me back for your account." I'm like, "Why would I give you money for like? I don't
No.
even have like 1 million followers and stuff. Like, why would I give you something for like whatever? It's like monopoly money. Like, why would I give? Why would I do that? I don't like.
That's
I didn't start this account
crazy.
to like get popular or something like that. I just wanted to tweet about the club in English, and it just things happen, and there you go. And that's how I found you guys too. So yeah, we'll try to get that follow up account. We'll try to get those followers up. Like and subscribe.
Report it. Report the
Yeah,
old account.
actually report that account as spam, please.
Please.
That would be
Please.
great. But yeah, like and subscribe. We're probably gonna have I think we're probably gonna have to do this like now that we can do the live stream. There's no need for me to like edit. People are gonna get this with pickups and everything.
Raw content.
Oh yeah, so now it's there. Anybody that wants to come back and listen to it can come back and listen to it. And we'll probably try to do this, like I said, once a week, or every bi-weekly. Because we're entering the off season as of Sunday, and we'll see. Maybe we might have a new president next week, and then there's obviously we have to talk about that. So let's see what happens there. But again,
It's gonna be
for myself, for Zamira, for Fernando, everyone, I really appreciate you for following, for watching, listening, or however you tune into these things. For like the gift content that I need to get back up on, because now that the season will, I don't know. I'll see. I'll probably do it for that Santos game.
I guess we're all having a fresh start.
If they play a bunch of like youth players, I'll go ahead and do it just for the motivation.
Yeah.
But it's just like so I'll do that. But well, like I said, get that follow up count, and like I said, I'll see if we can do something in Spanish for this YouTube channel or whatever, and
we can do a test run on.
Yeah,
on
we
X.
can do something. Yeah. So
like
I said,
space.
really appreciate it. Or we can go live on X too. I can only do. I'm doing the free trial one or the free one, so I can only pick one, and obviously I'm going to pick the YouTube channel just because I want that to grow. And for you guys, anything you guys want to add?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us again.
Yeah, so nice little venting. Hopefully we can get bigger, and we can have a lot more people when we're doing this live, and there can be chats in the little comment that I get right here on the stream channel. So yeah, really appreciate everybody for listening. So for Zamira, for myself, for Fernando, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.